As of 2025, or I guess early 2026, been to many notable theme parks all across the East Coast, going to many new great ones and revisiting some old amazing ones. So in today's video, I'll give you my top 10 favorite theme parks of 2025. I'm gonna first start off the video with some honorable mentions, including Dorney Park. I find that the first Cedar Fair park that I went to is actually a pretty decent park for roller coasters. It's on the nicer side of the parks that I went to, and I really like this park. The coaster lineup's good, but not strong enough to make this list. That's the same deal for Lake Compounce, as it has a good coaster lineup and it's a great park, but it's not very strong. However, I would say that their lineup is carried by Boulder Dash, which is an elite wooden roller coaster. It's a fun park with some decent flat rides, but the operations aren't great. Maury Spears, however, it will always be one of my favorite beachside parks. They actually have a pretty good coaster lineup for a beachside and boardwalk park with 7 roller coasters, including the Great White, Sea Serpent, Great Nor'easter, and much more, all that are pretty decent. But that's not really the best part of this park. I'd say my favorite part about this park is the nightlife, as no matter what ride it is, it's always in a really fun time. I will always like this park, but the same thing that sets it back from every other park is its roller coaster lineup, because they don't exactly have a standout coaster. Unlike Knoebels at number 10 with Phoenix, it's one of the best wooden coasters in the world, but it's not all about Phoenix. Knoebels is genuinely just a really nice park located in the mountains of Pennsylvania. It's mostly meant for families, but anyone can really go here as they have something for everyone, with multiple roller coasters like Phoenix and Impulse, with Phoenix being my favorite roller coaster that I've talked about here. It's ultra smooth and its airtime is genuinely crazy. When I visited Knoebels, I got 2 days and one was for the water park. It's a pretty nice water park, but don't expect to spend a whole day here. I only spent about 1 or 2 hours. The rest of your day you can spend exploring Knoebels, which is genuinely just a fun park to walk around in. The location of Knoebels is amazing, as there's always shade around because of the dense forest. But I'd actually recommend to beware of the crowd, because although it doesn't seem like it gets crowded, it gets decently crowded on some days. So overall, I think Knoebels is a great park, mostly meant for families, but it is overall a very fun time. Oh, and when you go, make sure to get the ice cream, as they give you a lot. But next up is an opinion that may shock most of you, because it shocked me too. At number 9, I have Six Flags America. Although Knoebels was better than Six Flags America in terms of actual park, the coaster lineup of Six Flags America overall is just better, and that's what matters more to me. Even though I only got one visit while I was kind of a roller coaster enthusiast, but also kind of not, I still think it's overall just a better park. But then again, a few years ago, I wasn't really paying attention to all the little details. I just liked riding roller coasters. I think Six Flags America could have gone in 9 or 10, so that's why I'm putting it in 9. Six Flags America's lineup was a bit bigger and denser than Knoebels, but both are still pretty decent parks, or should I say were. Knoebels had the best roller coaster out of all of them, but Six Flags America had a much better overall lineup. Six Flags America had some very unique rides like Batwing, which I found was a really fun flying coaster. The main reason I put Six Flags America over Knoebels because the coasters were just way bigger and they were probably better in average. Plus, I'm more of a thrill seeker, so this park is better fit for me. I could have definitely understood why people were hating on Six Flags America, but it's pretty good for what it was. The operations definitely were pretty bad, but the roller coasters were pretty good. Rides like Superman were very good and still make my top 25 today. Six Flags America didn't really have much theming because it was a Six Flags park, but they didn't really need that because I thought it was a pretty good location. However, a location everybody knows is Orlando, so at number 8 I have SeaWorld Orlando. I actually really like this park, and it actually has an amazing roller coaster lineup. I'm pretty sure as of right now they have the most B&Ms of any park ever, and that's a good thing because these B&Ms are actually pretty fun, with Mako being my favorite B&M of any, and Pipeline being one of my favorite B&Ms ever. This park doesn't just have a really good coaster lineup, it's also just a really nice park. And I mean it this time, because just walking around the park is a really good feeling. I don't know what it is, but SeaWorld Orlando just has this type of vibe vibe that it's a really good park. Like, this park could definitely move way up the list. It's just such a great park, and I really like going to it. SeaWorld Orlando is definitely on the upper tier parks on this list because its theming is also pretty good. They didn't really just plop roller coasters down in the middle of the parking lot like some Six Flags parks, but they make the roller coasters look really nice, and it's enjoyable just being on them or just watching them because they all look really good. As B&M is one of the best in the industry, and SeaWorld's parks are some of the best in the industry as well. And SeaWorld Orlando can be exchanged with Six Flags New England because at number 7 I have that. I actually think this is quite an underrated park. It's actually got a good coaster lineup besides the amazing 1-2 punch, with rides like Batman the Dark Knight, which I think is actually a pretty fun floorless roller coaster, or Thunderbolt, which is an extremely old wooden coaster that still has a bit of airtime. Their lineup also goes deeper with clones or family coasters. This park is definitely on the better side of Six Flags parks because of their decent coaster lineup, but what really makes them stand out from every other park on this list is their amazing 1-2 punch. Wicked Cyclone and Superman the Ride are some of the best roller coasters in New England and even on the East Coast. Wicked Cyclone at one point was actually my favorite roller coaster ever, and Superman the Ride I had to go back for another visit just to ride it. Both rides are very smooth and do airtime, but in two completely different ways. Wicked Cyclone absolutely throws you out of your seat with these crazy ejector hills, and Superman the Ride definitely throws you out of your seat with these very fun floater airtime hills. But this ride's layout also is considered to be the best by some, and although I don't personally think that, I still think it's an amazing layout filled with ejector and floater airtime hills as well as some really good helixes. Superman the Ride is also amazing for moments like these, going through tunnels or diving inside theming elements. And although they are just cutouts, I actually do really like them, and they add a lot to the roller coaster overall experience. To be honest, Six Flags New England is basically nothing without these two coasters, but that's okay because these two coasters absolutely carry the lineup and they make the park what it is. And what is Six Flags New England? Well, it's certainly an amusement park, there's no doubt about that, but it's also the best coaster lineup in New England in my opinion, and it's also a mid-tier Six Flags park. Oh, and a more upper-tier Six Flags park, Six Flags Great Adventure takes the number 6 spot. It's always been my home park and it holds a special place for me because whenever I'm bored, I just go here. They have some of the best roller coasters in the world like El Toro, which I always have a fun time on it despite how many times I go on it. The crazy ejector airtime will never get old. And then you have other roller coasters like Nitro, which is one of my favorite B&Ms and gives some of the best floater airtime ever. Six Flags Great Adventure is definitely one of the premier Six Flags parks now, even with King Ka gone. It has one of the best roller coaster collections in the Six Flags chain, and overall is a decently nice looking Six Flags park, except for the boardwalk as of 2025, but hopefully they're revamping it in the later seasons. The Golden Area Kingdom part of the park was definitely my favorite, but now that it's gone, I don't really know what the best part of the park is. You have the part with Nitro, Jersey Devil, and some other major rides, but then you also have the part with El Toro, which is by far the standout coaster. So overall, Six Flags Great Adventure is one of the best Six Flags parks in the chain, and it's definitely a good home park. But an even nicer home park is Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This amazing park located in Virginia mixes theme parks and amusement parks together. They not only have plenty of amazing roller coasters including Pantheon, which is one of my favorite roller coasters ever, they also have some great B&M coasters like Alpengeist and Griffin, which are some of my favorites of the genre. Busch Gardens Williamsburg overall just has a very well-rounded and very good roller coaster lineup, including multiple family coasters and a bunch of thrill coasters. If this was my home park, I could definitely spend an entire day here just lapping multiple rides like Pantheon, Griffin, and Alpengeist. I know it sounds crazy, but their B&M hypercoaster Apollo's Chariot is one of the lesser in the park, even though it's an entire B&M hypercoaster that goes over 200 feet tall. This just shows that Busch Gardens Williamsburg's lineup is just really good. Oh, and I know I've been talking about just the roller coaster lineups for nearly all of these parks, but Busch Gardens is way more than its roller coasters. It was voted the world's most beautiful theme park by Golden Ticket Awards multiple times and continues to win that title. I think it definitely deserves this title as it's just a beautiful place to be even if you're not riding any of the roller coasters. Similar to Knoebels, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is surrounded by trees and genuinely has a good atmosphere. It has tons of theming at multiple parts, including some of the roller coasters, especially Alpengeist. I know I've also been talking about just the thrill coasters, but Busch Gardens is way more than that as well, as it features many different family coasters including Verbolten, Invader, and even Dark Coaster. Even though I didn't get to ride Verbolten, I still think it would be a great roller coaster overall for families and for thrill seekers. The other family coaster I sadly didn't get to ride was Big Bad Wolf: The Wolf's Revenge, which is the new for 2025 family inverted coaster with 2 lift hills and tons of theming. Busch Gardens Williamsburg overall is just a really nice place to be in, similar to Hershey Park, which is one of my favorite amusement parks yet. The sweetest place on earth is definitely one of the most fun, as I had to visit it more than once because it's just such an amazing place. I've spent days at Hershey Park, so I can confidently say that it will rank here or even higher in the list. Their roller coaster lineup is genuinely amazing and could be the best in America. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but saying that their desserts are some of the best that I've ever tasted is not. It's definitely called Hershey Park for a reason, as nearly all of their desserts include some form of chocolate. Like, I even had a chocolate chip pretzel, which was actually amazing. I highly recommend their king-size chocolate milkshakes, which are absolutely amazing as well. You really can't go wrong with any of the desserts here. You should definitely go to the Chocolatier, as it is one of my favorite restaurants in the theme park that I've been to. But once again, you really can't go wrong with the food choices at Hershey Park. And I definitely say that you can't go wrong with any of the roller coaster choices at Hershey Park as well, as they have an elite lineup, including the roller coaster that has never gone down in my rankings, Wildcats Revenge, which is backed up by an insane lineup like Candemonium, Sky Rush, and Storm Runner, which are all considered to be sometimes elite roller coasters. And the crazy part, it doesn't even stop there. With rides like Fahrenheit, Great Bear, and Lightning Racer, it's an absolutely stacked lineup. Any time at Hershey Park is a guaranteed great time, as all the roller coasters can be very enjoyable. Mix that in with some amazing sweet treats and good food, it's always a great time. Some people even consider Hershey Park to be the best in the country, and I definitely could believe them, as it is one of the best, but not my favorite. But hold on, did I mention that Hershey Park can be very good to walk around in, as it is also shaded just like Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Knoebels. However, next up, I'd say I have a pretty controversial opinion. Yes, I'm putting King's Dominion over Hershey Park. I believe that this is one of the best amusement parks in the world, and I haven't even ridden Pantherian yet. The coaster lineup is good, but not the best in the world. I mean, Hershey Park's is probably better. And there's a lot of things that Hershey Park is way better than King's Dominion in, even food. But there's just something about King's Dominion that lets me put it over Hershey Park. I don't know, I just have this feeling that it's just better. King's Dominion just looks amazing, from the beautiful International Street entryway with the Eiffel Tower to the amazing theming all around the park. Like, I mean, come on, there's very few theme parks that I've been to that have waterfalls just scattered around the park. And King's Dominion is very unique and charming, especially with these singing mushrooms, which I really love. Like, no other park has this, and I'm really glad King's Dominion does. These are the type of things that put it over other parks. It might seem crazy to say this, but some parts of King's Dominion actually look better than Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I don't think King's Dominion gets the respect it deserves in terms of just being a nice and beautiful park. Oh yeah, and notice how I've barely even talked about the roller coasters so far. That's how you know King's Dominion is just so good, when it's not completely carried by all the roller coasters. And don't get me wrong, King's Dominion has some of the best roller coasters I've ridden, including Twisted Timbers, and I'd say Pantherian is one of my most bucket list roller coasters ever. And I'm planning to revisit King's Dominion for Pantherian and also to experience the amazing park again pretty soon. So if you like the video you're seeing right now, you should definitely like it, and if you want to see me go back to King's Dominion, definitely consider subscribing. I really enjoy how King's Dominion's 1-2 punch doesn't completely carry the lineup. I mean, it definitely adds a lot, but they have a whole other lineup besides the 1-2 punch, including the world's longest floorless coaster, Dominator, as well as Rapterra, the new for 2025 B&M launched wing coaster. And they actually have more roller coasters besides that, like Racer 75 and the all-new Retract Grizzly, which are both amazing wooden coasters. Oh yeah, and definitely don't sleep on the other two amazing launch coasters with Backlot Stunt Coaster, which is a family launch coaster that was way more intense than I thought, and Flight of Fear, which is an amazing indoor roller coaster. Toonbilly as well as Reptilian are not horrible, and the other roller coasters they have there seem pretty decent. But besides roller coasters, King's Dominion has plenty of other attractions, with 4 attractions going over 300 feet tall. This is the Drop Tower, Pantherian, which I know is a roller coaster, the Eiffel Tower, and finally the Windseeker ride. So overall, King's Dominion is one of the best amusement parks in America and is definitely one of my favorite as of right now. It's criminally underrated in the terms of beauty, and it has some amazing roller coasters. But was once my favorite park is now sitting at the number 2 spot. This is Busch Gardens Tampa, an absolutely amazing theme park with some of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden. In fact, it actually once held my number 1 roller coaster. I would say Busch Gardens Tampa is more of a theme park than an amusement park, as it has some of the best theming I've ever seen at a park. The whole park is African themed, and it looks absolutely amazing with tons of trees everywhere and the rock work that looks very beautiful, especially on some roller coasters like Cheetah Hunt, where you dive into trenches passing by some beautiful rock work. And especially in the front entrance of the park and near the front, it actually has some amazing African theming, and all the buildings look very well themed. I'm now watching some of these walkthroughs, and I'm genuinely impressed by the theming of Busch Gardens Tampa. I mean, I know I've already been there, but I haven't been there in a while, so I forget how it looked. And wow, it is absolutely beautiful. Some points look more like zoos than actual theme parks. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, but with all these SeaWorld parks, so Busch Gardens Tampa, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and SeaWorld Orlando, they have many animal exhibits which you can just check out right there. So in a way, it's a theme park mixed with the zoo, but the theme park part has the zoo theming as well. The Pantopia area of the park looks absolutely fantastic and can even be on par with some Disney and Universal places. With all these colorful buildings, it's very stunning how there's just rides sitting right there. Speaking of rides, Busch Gardens Tampa offers an amazing roller coaster collection as well as a few notable flat rides. The highlight, of course, is Iron Gwazi, which was at one point my number 1 roller coaster, but it's now my number 2. It's not only ultra smooth, but it contains some of the most powerful airtime moments that I've ever felt, and also some laterals as well. One notable element is this insane death roll, which pins you to the side of the train and even gives you some good hang time. This is one of the best inversions in Florida and is certainly one of the best in the world. The twist and shout element over here is one of my favorite elements that I've ever gone through. It snaps you about 90 degrees and gives you some of the most insane airtime that I've ever felt as well. Although Iron Gwazi is mainly known for these 2 elements, it also features some amazing other airtime moments that give some extremely powerful ejector airtime. Iron Gwazi's only flaw is that it's a little bit short. Matsu, on the other hand, is not really short, and it is one of the best inverted roller coasters in the world and is one of the best B&Ms ever made. It's also one of the most intense roller coasters that I've ever ridden in terms of positive G's, because it has so many of them and they absolutely crush your feet. I believe you could probably black out or gray out on a hot summer day being dehydrated in Busch Gardens Tampa. Let me know if you guys have ever blacked out on Matsu. The signature element here is definitely the Batwing, which has some amazing positive G's and snaps. This one element basically sums up all of Matsu because it's very intense and it's very snappy and whippy. Some other amazing parts of Matsu are these very well themed African trenches, which really immerse you into the ride experience and definitely add a lot. Cheetah Hunt also has these beautiful trenches, which absolutely immerse you into the ride experience as well. This ride really feels like you're a cheetah, going through multiple airtime moments, launches, and even more. I would say that Cheetah Hunt is fit for anyone, thrill seekers or families, as there is not that much intensity to it. However, it's just more of an enjoyable experience diving through trenches and going on a pretty smooth track. Picra is definitely not pointless and is one of my favorite B&Ms as well. This dive coaster drops you over 200 feet, giving some amazing airtime. It is ultra smooth and has 2 notable moments with the 2 major drops. I don't really care if it's short or doesn't have a long layout, it's just a really fun and overall enjoyable experience. The drops you can't get over until the end of the ride because they're actually kind of scary. They're just always a fun experience, and the splashdown is also cool. I didn't really ride Kumba, but I think it will be an amazing roller coaster, and it's similar to Montu as it's very intense and it snaps you. Tigris should definitely not be forgotten, as it has 3 launches and some amazing hang time as well as airtime throughout the top hat. This ultra compact coaster is not only smooth, but it's also a very enjoyable ride experience even though it's short. So overall, you could probably see that Busch Gardens Tampa has a great roller roller coaster lineup, even though I didn't mention any family coasters. I highly recommend going here if you like roller coasters or not, as it overall is just a great place to be. It's not only a roller coaster park, but it's also a theme park. However, what is only a roller coaster park, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, is my favorite amusement park that I've ever been to. It has by far the best roller coaster collection of any park that I've been to, and is definitely one of the best in the world. The lineup contains roller coasters such as Steel Vengeance, which is my #1 coaster, and it's definitely perfect. This coaster has the most airtime of any other, and that's why it's my favorite. Maverick is another amazing coaster, which was the first Intamin Blitz. It's very smooth and extremely snappy. The airtime on it is absolutely amazing. The only bad thing is the restraints. Siren's Curse is extremely underrated. This amazing tilt coaster just opened in 2025, and it's so smooth. The tilt track really isn't just a gimmick. It's actually intimidating, and it's actually really fun. Then the drop that follows is actually really good, despite it looking very small. And then the layout that follows the drop is filled with plenty of airtime moments, which are very fun. Top Thrill 2 is the new for 2024, or I guess 2025, amazing Shredder coaster. Built by the unusual manufacturer Zamperla, they actually did a pretty good job, adding a 420-foot tall vertical spike, which sends you really high, giving an amazing view of Cedar Point, and also some decent floater airtime and zero-G feeling. Top Thrill 2 has 3 launches when Zamperla revamped it, and those are very not powerful, but the top hat followed by the launches is very good with some good floater airtime. But Cedar Point's lineup doesn't stop there, as they also have the world's first Giga Coaster, Millennium Force. This 300-foot beast is definitely not forceless and gives a great sense of speed as well as some decent positive Gs. The airtime is pretty decent, but that prevents it from being higher on this list. Cedar Point also has some other roller coasters, such as Raptor, Valraven, and Gatekeeper. Those are the B&Ms, and Magnum, well, it's pretty painful. Raptor is very intense. Similar to Mod 2, it contains multiple points of strong positive G-forces, as well as multiple points of snappy moments. Gatekeeper is kind of the opposite, having flowy inversion, similar to Valraven, which is a dive coaster similar to Sheikra. Although I do prefer Sheikra's drop, Valraven's is still pretty good, giving some alright airtime, although the restraints do crush you a little bit. Cedar Point does have another B&M, which is Ruguru, although I kind of forgot about it. Magnum you can't really forget because it's very painful, but it does have some alright airtime. Cedar Point also does have some kid and family roller coasters, but that's not really what they're about. What Cedar Point really is just about is high major thrill roller coasters, and if you're looking for that, this is the place to go. But if you're really looking for a family place to go, I would say Busch Gardens Tampa is a bit better. I would definitely say I'm the target audience for Cedar Point, and that's why it made the top of my list. If you're looking for big roller coasters, go here. If you haven't already noticed why I haven't been talking about the theming of Cedar Point, well, it's kind of because they don't really have any. They just have big and really good roller coasters, 4 of which make my top 25 overall. It's like Candyland for thrill seekers, but not really much for anybody else. The park certainly does look nice, but if you had to choose just walking around a place, I would definitely say Busch Gardens Tampa over this. The boardwalk part of the park does look amazing, and Cedar Point is right next to a beach, but it is pretty difficult to spend an entire day on a beach with not much there. So Cedar Point is a great place for thrill seekers, but maybe not as great for families. But I mean, if you all love roller coasters, then that's amazing. So there was my top 10 favorite theme parks that I've ever been to. And if you want to see my top 25 favorite roller coasters, then check it out in the description below. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you consider watching more of my videos, make sure to subscribe. But anyway, I hope you all have a great day after watching this 20-minute long video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.